Hello, everyone. A loved one suggested I do a video on how the suppression of feelings can lead to depression, and that certainly has been the experience here. When I use the word depression, there are varying degrees, and so I'm not talking about a depression where I needed medication, but then that's not a judgment. It's just I'm trying to keep it real. There certainly were a lot of down feelings and feeling lost and all of that. With my family of origin, my parents had their own set of beliefs and conditioning and values and just their own stories, and they could not raise their children outside of that experience or that knowing. And so it's not a judgment against them. They did the best that they could with what they knew at the time. And the belief was that being funny and a little crazy and having a great sense of humor, even to the point of being outrageous, was totally acceptable. And we certainly had plenty of really good times as a family, and that is still part of the nature here. And I can see that I extended that to my children, and then they extended that to their children. So it's just a lot of fun, which is great. And then there was also the belief that any type of anger, harsh words, strong opinions, especially when the voice would arise or would become loud, that was looked down upon and it was undignified, unacceptable, and I would say even shameful and embarrassing. And so the belief I bought into with that teaching was that it was my job to stuff any of those kinds of feelings of anger and all of that, and to be a positive person. So a lot of suppression happened, and it lasted 60 some years until realization 2 years ago. And what happened was that there was a great disconnect. This was very, very busy. And because there was so much suppression of feelings, the heart area felt dead. I didn't realize it. I realized it when realization happened, then it was seen. Before that, I thought, I'm doing a good job. I'm being positive. I'm not entertaining any kind of ugly feelings such as anger, because that's what I thought, I believed at the time. And all of them were judged very harshly here. And that judgment, of course, extended to my brothers and sisters. And I would even say I thought I was better than someone who was unable to control their anger. And after realization, everything in the mind kind of dropped into the heart, and that shift occurred where this quieted down a lot, and the heart area became very alive with feelings. There was nothing to stop it. That belief in the separate self was gone, and the spontaneity of feelings was evident. So it's very interesting, because once that vastness or that total acceptance of what is, of all the feelings, is in place or happens, there is less tendency to feel anger, or if it arises, it is seen, and then it dissolves. It doesn't take very long. I sit with it. I sense it. I feel it, and then it dissolves. And then the last time I felt anger, that the time that comes to mind was last year, where I felt anger. Someone had said something, and there was something here that noticed it. There was like a nice little fire going on in the chest, and I just sat with it, and there was just no judgment about it. And in a short time, it dissolved. And when I tried to recapture the trigger later, I was unable to. I just saw innocence for everyone, myself, the other party. And I forget if words were expressed, and that is completely fine also, especially, after uh, I sit with it, and then it's not in the heat of the moment, and so the exchange maybe is more peaceful and more loving. And so there is a wonderful freedom here in being able to express all the feelings, excuse me, all the feelings that arise. And because that is life expressing itself, and it will do so uniquely through all beings. That's We are not robots. If we remove our feelings, I mean, this is it becomes dead. And we're not being, although the little self has fallen here, there is still um, a nature here, characteristics, preferences that are unique to this form. And that is why this form was manifested, to express what feels true and honest and in the moment. And that's a wonderful feeling to be able to do that. And so that is my message with this video to all of you brothers and sisters, is to not, as much as you can, if that doesn't arise, that is okay also. There's no right or wrong or judgment here. But to look into feeling your feelings and having the freedom to express them, and to look into any judgments that arise that are attached to the feelings. And so that's what I wanted to say today. Thank you. Bye bye.